Yo, 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 yo. It's Terrell Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, and all that other sweet, beautiful, wonderful shh. Okay, check it out, man. We discuss, breeding techniques a lot. We discuss how to breed and this and that and the other, and, taking certain genetics out of your gene pool. And, it's a lot of discussion on these things, but one of the biggest things, that we never discuss enough of is like the whole kennel blindness thing. And kennel blindness doesn't just apply to your own yard. Sometimes we get blinded by other people's kennels and their names and different things like that. And I have a lot of people who come to me, and their first and foremost thing that they want to do is they want to talk about, I got a dog from such and such bullies, and I got a dog from such and such. And one of the things y'all have to understand is that, to be honest with you, a lot of these people can't show you a lot of quality. It's not hating, I'm just being real. Some of these people are very great in marketing. They market, but they don't actually show you dogs. The questions that you should ask when you're talking to a breeder is like, first and foremost, what's your breed plan? And I know this sounds like, like some breeders don't want to answer it. They'll damn near just hang up the phone on you. You're not spending money, whatever. But you have to ask them what's the plan for their program. And the reason why you ask them what's the plan for their program and why were these breedings done is because, for one, you're getting a sense of how this breeder operates. Is this breeder really a real breeder, or is this just a hype breeder that comes in sometimes, throw some breedings together, sees if he can get, enough money for the down payment on the Escalade, and that's it. You know what I mean? Seriously, that's it. You know what I mean? So, I know a lot of people who think like that. It's just like, okay, if I have 8 puppies, yeah, 2,500 a piece. Okay, 20 grand. That'll give me my Escalade down payment. But the truth of the matter is that, when you talk to a serious breeder, they'll break down what each breeding meant and which direction they were going with it. It's very, very important, going back to you, is because this is being implemented into your program. So you have to understand the vision that made your puppy to understand what you're going to do with it. Now, in other videos, I've talked about size. I've talked about conformation, of course. I've talked about, many different things. But a key when you're buying a puppy is understanding how this will fit into your own American Bully or Rottweiler or whatever program, and what attributes will this puppy get. Sometimes we look at the dog and maybe we look at the names of the people who sold the dog, and we might even look at a few names on the pedigree. But if we don't have an understanding of what this puppy's DNA makeup is to produce, then when you run into problems later on, it's going to be like some kind of code that you got to go back and fix. And the main thing is, some dogs, they'll produce a bigger dog when their genetics say that the dog should be smaller. Well, that's an anomaly, and what'll happen is that if this dog has been pocket blood, then all of a sudden it pulls a nice size standard out. When you do the breedings, more than likely the breedings are going to go back to the pocket blood because the genetics say pocket. He just outgrew that, and you need to understand that. You need to understand that, I'm just giving you examples so I don't make this too, but, like with my dogs in particular, where my program is at, my program veers to the point to where it can be very successful being bred with other dogs that come from the Razor's Edge family. So, that's why y'all have heard me talk about implementing some of the Blue Pride blood. Is people have heard me talk about implementing the Remy blood, which I do have some of. What other blood? Oh yeah, and Pratt stuff with the Kamali and the Nemesis, because those are all avenues that fit exactly what I'm trying to do. Now, on the flip side, is certain bloods that I wouldn't breed my dogs to, and it's not just the exotic bloods, but it's certain bloods that I've seen a certain type of result come from, and there are certain strands in the edge blood that I don't breed to as much because my dogs just don't do well with them. And most of the time, it's not a conformational issue. What it is that the dogs get more and more terrier. So one of the reasons now that I sort of breed away from Cairo blood is because I'm heavy Cairo. So in order for me to stay loose with what I'm doing, I need to breed to other, excuse me, the other breeds in the family to loosen up the genetics so it won't be so tight and I don't run into like inbreeding type of problems, and also to add features that I like. All of the dogs in the Edge family, for the most part, have the same head structure. So with me, what I'm looking for is to add more size. Now, when you add more size out of individual families, you find weaknesses. You know, you find rear end weaknesses. You might not have the back length that you want. You might, you know, not have as much bone as you want, but they have all the other features. So when I'm doing these breedings, I'm adding these things up. One of my dog's strongest traits is we do get the head, we definitely get the bone. You know, bone and rear ends is one of our big things. So if there's a dog that, you know, needs a shorter back, needs better rear end assembly, we can do that. You know, if the dog needs a little more bone, we can do that. The one thing that we don't do is we don't add a ton of size to the dogs. That's why we're adding size to, you know, which is one of our weaknesses from the type of size I like. You know, Mandela is he's the one that doesn't fit in this category, but a lot of the other dogs that we've had have been smaller, and we're getting smaller because we were line breeding, so we bring the size up. But you know, when you look at these yards, don't be blind to the faults and the issues that are going on inside those yards, because please understand that we do live in an era now to where most of these guys will sell you anything, even if they don't believe in it, even if they know it's screwed up. They want your money, you know. So if you're willing to go in there and pay $4,000 or $5,000 for a puppy, excuse me, if you're willing to pay $4,000 or $5,000 for a puppy, you know, they're going to give you the sales pitch line that, oh yeah, this dog can be great. But the funniest part about it is, and I always remind you of this, is if they don't have a bunch of great dogs in their yard, what makes you think that they're going to sell you a great puppy? Most of these breeders will show you one dog and be like, oh man, you know, this is it. But if you start looking for more and more to it, and dogs that fit this category, they don't have them. And it's pretty much a mentality that I need to sell everything so that they clear out their own yards a lot of times. That should be a big red flag to you. If a person can't show you other dogs that they produced, at least other dogs that they produced of what you like, or that's a part of their family and they've been involved with these breedings and different things, because they're telling you right up front what you're about to get from those breedings. But some of us don't want to listen. We do it anyway, then we act shocked when it doesn't work. I'm just giving you that advice, man. Put some work in. Somebody's walking behind the truck. Put some work in, man, and make sure that you do a lot of studying, and don't be blind to anybody else's yard or your yard. If you're in your own yard, if you don't have any of these features, you have to understand that those are puppies that you can't keep. Sometimes they'll be nice puppies. It's just something that you weren't looking for as far as what your program is. Just like I told you to look out for that the other breeders' direction and them knowing what the purpose of the breeding was. Make sure that in your own yard you put those same standards, and you understand that everything needs to be aligned in order for you to make a true program. If all these things don't align, all you'll end up doing is struggling to find a consistent look for the next 10, 15, 20 years if you do it that long. Until next time, man, God bless y'all. Much love. Peace.